Y'all's the hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it. Y'all's the hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I had me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it. Realest Podcast.
Hello, Brooklyn. TRPE Nation. We on location at the Brooklyn Navy Yard today with one of our most prolific guests of all time, making his return to the platform. He's a rapper, media personality, boxer, entrepreneur, and a survivor of the New York City streets and the foster care system. His February 2023 appearance on TRPE ignited the platform and the collective consciousness of Black America to the tune of over 5 million global impressions. Here today to electrify TRPE once again is Harlem's very own, my brother, Smart.
Oh, man, well, listen, I'm going to have to copy and paste that. I'm going to have to get that.
You got a project, a single, something coming out, you know what I'm saying? We got to throw that on there.
We're going to put that on the intro track, Yeah.
Make it happen, man.
I like that. That was a great, everything you said was true, by the way, but, the way it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
Real. You said it very professional.
Welcome back to the show, sir.
I'm happy to be here.
Happy to have you, man.
Wait for the coffee to cool down. It's good when the coffee is hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, look how she was handing that shit to you. She was piping.
Yeah, for sure.
First and foremost, welcome back to the show. We appreciate you being here with us. Since our last collab, seeing you on a countless podcasts, too many to count, going viral, and more importantly, sharing your testimony and spreading a positive message.
Yeah.
What's the last year, 15 months been like for you as far as like running the media circuit and all of the attention you've been getting?
It's been, well received and definitely well earned. And the whole message now is just like, pushing the mindset and creating our own industry, right? That's just what I've been on, right? Like, and developing this mindset of not just only independence, but self-reliance. Mm-hmm. Because we put so much work into creating content. We put so much work into just being in media. I don't think we realize the equity that is generated from the output, right? From our personal output as, content creators, and the mindset that is necessary to be beneficiaries of that equity, right? So when you look at like CPMs and how companies have, allocated capital to pay platforms, to advertise. Right now, the standardized CPM, cost per milli, or every 1,000 views, you're supposed to get at least a bare minimum of $20. Mm-hmm. And that kind of gets lost, between the person who owns the platform where your content lives and the person that is actually creating the content.
Yes, indeed.
We know.
Yeah, right? So there's all these
flights to Africa and shit. A lot going on.
There's all these hula hoops that content creators got to go through, and so much red tape, right? Yeah. When, that should be the justification for us to start creating our own industries, for us to start creating, our own YouTube, our own radio stations. So that's been an uphill battle for me right now, and that's just the focus of my brand right now.
Yeah, I mean, to that CPM point and just utilizing these platforms in a certain way and then leveraging that to be able to have enough social capital to build our own platforms, what I've noticed is that a lot of people now are realizing that a network ain't nothing but a collection of shows. Meaning, like, if you got 5 shows, they could be 5 shows with the same people, but different topics and different verticals, whatever. And then you're able to bundle that up and then go direct to the advertisers yourself to be able to get the full CPM versus having that aggregator in the middle that's yanking part of that money. Like with us, we're with Revolt Podcast Network now, whatever. We've been with them for like 6 months, and that CPM battle, that advertising battle, is the battle. It's the biggest battle of like who's in charge, who's issuing the advertisement.
But the only reason it's a battle is because you have to create points of contact with the companies that actually pay advertisement.
Exactly.
We went through that too.
Right? Like you have to create a direct relationship, a direct point of contact. So an example is there's a water bottle right there, right? I'm not gonna ask for it on camera because they ain't got to check, right?
Right, exactly.
Water bottle right there, right? And then that's the actual company, right? Now, that company, if it's a new company, their main goal typically is first phase is probably marketing, right? Making it cool. Then the next phase is distribution. So they might focus on marketing and distribution simultaneously.
Right.
So, and then looking to scale, right? Whether, aggressively, depending on the mission statement for the company. So it's in your best interest to find these companies that are on the entry level and say, well, hey, I have this audience that would love to drink your water.
Oh, we did that too.
Yeah, we did that too. We broke liquid death.
Check it out. I have a company. I have a brand. I have followers, viewers that view my content that would love to drink your water, right? And what I'll do is we're gonna give you some advertisement packages that make sense for your company at an entry level. We want to start you off at $25 with an increase based upon conversion. So conversion meaning like if someone actually purchases your water,
right,
that is a viewer of this show or the content we created, we're gonna increase our advertisement based upon a justifiable value of purchasing, right? So now what that does for you guys and for the company, it gives them micro-manageable opportunities to actually see where their advertising dollars are not only going,
right,
but where's the customer that ad inspired to purchase a product, and then it gives you guys, cash flow. So now you say, well, okay, I'm going to create genres within your brand, your platform. So now these type of videos, these type of guests, these type of content, I'm going to run water ads only on this type of content that we create.
right.
So now there's not a conflict of interest with the diverse companies that you guys start to solicit advertisement to.
Right.
So now you say, well, okay, if we have food and beverage as a genre, right? So these 5 videos, we got food and beverage, and we got maybe 10 ads ran per piece of content. That's $250 per video. Not based upon, the payout is not based upon views.
Right.
The payout
It's
is just
based upon the product placement.
Yeah, product placement and viewership, right? So now you're averaging $250 for one video. Okay? 10 videos, that's $2,500. Okay? And then now when you develop your advertisement team, your advertisement team's sole focus is to seek out these companies and solicit the ad space too.
Yeah.
Right? And then now once you create a Rolodex, a network of paying companies, now you're making millions of dollars off of advertisement. And that's the power of the ad game when you leverage it correctly, and that's the power of the content that you're creating. Yeah. And I think that's what the future for content creators looks like if they have the patience to educate themselves on clever techniques to create a out of the box ad revenue.
Yeah. With all of that in mind, and looking at just like the landscape of technology, monetization, and like that symbiotic relationship, do you feel like people should be like embracing artificial intelligence to be able to create certain economies of scale or business advantages?
Because artificial intelligence can only, for now, artificial intelligence only can generate based off patterns.
Right.
Not innovation.
You got to feed it the information.
Not innovation.
Yeah.
Right? So customers' consumption habits are not habitual. They change. You have grandmothers who want to listen to Chef G, and you got babies who want to listen to Sade. Right?
Yeah.
So there's this, you're very hard pressed to program a pattern for consumption and then generate ads based upon that consumption.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to be very, very lean and flexible, right? So I definitely wouldn't lean in to artificial intelligence. It's usable, right? But the brain, the human mind, is gonna always be top priority. For me, especially in business and in that area.
Right. So, what are any advantages that you do see? Whether it could be like, there's programs that will cut clips out of your long form video and give you a virality score and stuff like that. Like
again, so this is why I say artificial intelligence there's a huge there's a huge liability because it only studies patterns. So its approach to actually cutting that video is a cookie cutter approach.
Right. So eventually it stops working. It stops being as viable because
it's not as creative as you're going to be.
Right.
It's not as creative as, what's your name, brother? Dan the Man. It's just not as creative as Dan the Man, because Dan the Man is going to look at it and say, wait, you know what? Let me let me put this right here.
Let me put this cutaway here.
Yeah, the AI can't do that just yet. So again, there's no room for innovation with AI.
Yeah.
And then not only is there a liability in terms of innovation, but there's a liability in terms of appreciation and gratification, right? Because when you work for something and you create something, and it's a different advertisement. Could you imagine if AI, that we might not have I'm loving it, right?
Yeah.
Let's get ready to rumble, right? All these things we fell in love with would probably never come into existence because we're relying on this limited database of knowledge in terms of technology to create something as opposed to the human mind.
Yeah.
Right? Cars might have one wheel instead of four.
Yeah.
Bicycle. I seen a guy on the. I want give me two wheels on my bicycle, man. In handlebars. I don't want to be leaning forward, leaning
back.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think there has to be going into the future, especially for Gen Zs and even baby boomers. We have to increase the value for the human mind.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And it's going to always be faulty, situations in terms of technology.
Yeah.
A computer is going to crash before the brain does. Yeah. So,
how much do you know about Web 3.0? Have you looked into it yet? Start studying it and like some of the innovations and stuff that it's supposed to unlock. As far as like for it's more so geared toward creating more freedom across the World Wide Web for peer-to-peer, blockchain, and things like that.
Again, so everybody everybody looks at the pros, but let's look at the cons.
Yeah.
Right? It seems like we're being conditioned to move the world away from humanity. Right? Yeah. And we have to embrace, everything is like, it's like the Matrix.
Yeah.
I'm against that. I want things to. We have to be as analog as possible.
Yeah. Because to that point, right, there was once upon a time we were conditioned to move away from industrialization, and then all of those factory and warehouse jobs that paid people a sustainable, great living through the Rust Belt, Pennsylvania, parts of New York, Ohio, Michigan, they went away, and then we had to find ways to replace that income, and that shit killed the economy for a substantial amount of time.
I'm glad you said it before I said it, right? Because everybody thinks I'm tripping sometimes, right? We tried to make America better and get things done faster, and what we did was the black man was collateral damage.
Yeah.
And the black man, when the factory jobs disappeared and dissipated, you also seen the black man being ahead of the household disappear as well.
Absolutely. Right. And then the black woman's reliance on the government to fill that role as the father and the man of the house with subsidized income and food stamps and welfare and all of that.
Which was a strategic plot, right?
Yeah.
Which was a strategic plot.
Keep going.
Okay, got you. Which was a strategic plot to break down the black family structure.
Absolutely.
Right? So now when you look at technology is being the how can I say the resurgence or that thing of technology just exploding, right?
Yeah.
Is being used the same way the removal of those factories jobs were, now. So we got to be very mindful of not only how the government is going to utilize technology to further displace us as a culture, as a people, but also as a human race. And then we leave so much power in other people's hands because as fast as technology is moving, the educational system is failing to teach computer science at earlier ages.
Absolutely.
Right? Like we're not being taught, mirror echoing in third grade, preschool. Right? We're not being taught how artificial intelligence and augmented reality is going to be used. Like they're not teaching kids that. So I don't know if there's a sinister plot, but I'm not embracing too much technology if I don't understand it. And I think we have to defend against that by creating our own platforms and institutions. This is why the mindset of our people is so important. And I touched on that, in our last interview. And we talked about getting our own satellites and building our own radio stations. And, we put so much effort into creating content and consuming content, but not owning the platforms that distribute the content. Right. So in regards to, and to answer your question, with terms of Web3 and I'm against anything that's going to remove me away from analog.
Gotcha.
Anything that's going to remove me away from
lessen the
shit
the
I
ability.
got right here.
Yeah.
No, I'm cool. Right? Yeah. So Jesus would have had an iPad if it was viable more than man. Okay?
Yeah.
Moses would have had a tablet instead of
Oculus.
Right? No, there's a reason why, right? We talk about innovations, right? And there's things that is created by God that will always supersede the things that's created by man.
Real.
Right? And when we start to appreciate God's creations, then we're going to put more faith in God's creations and not man's creation.
Yeah.
Right? So, just
switching gears a little bit. I want to talk about some current events, media related stuff. You're somebody that I can trust to give me not only an honest answer, but break down
sure.
and add context to it. How did you feel about the Cat Williams interview on Club Shay Shay and the way it set off 2024 with kind of some dark energy around exposals and misinformation and tearing down celebrities in the name of telling the truth? Or do you view it different?
Well, again, I spoke about this 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Guys having to sell their soul and, the whole Math Hoffa interview, I spoke about that, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, it's just Cap, this guy, who the fuck is this guy, blah, blah, blah. And then 4 years later, you see these things happening.
Yeah.
But we have to be careful because the government uses misdirection, right? And it's always our people that gets used as the tools of distraction. We're America's great fall guy.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. We're worrying about who P. Diddy put his hands on more so than Donald Trump just played a role in getting 200 lifetime judges seats. We're worried about did Meek Mill called P. Diddy daddy, and there hasn't been any executive orders passed to protect us, right? And we're talking about who's good, who's going to jail, and right what Cat Williams said on Club Shay Shay.
Yeah.
And we're not realizing that we don't even have any black-owned banks. There's no black-owned HBCUs. Right. We don't own any networks. We don't have any armories. We don't have any hospitals. We don't have any institutions. We don't have any strong leadership or any organizations or coalitions that's actually pushing an agenda to make us as a people stronger. Right? We didn't get reparations. We're the only people on this planet that is trying to find freedom in their Holocaustist homeland. The Jews had to leave Germany. We're in America.
Yeah, they got their own sovereign land.
We're in America. So that's like the Jew still living in Germany thinking he's going to come to power. No, they had to leave.
Right?
They had to leave. So why we're not putting that same emphasis in terms of us leaving America, because we're still in our Holocaust, right? There's no convictions for, police murdering us, right? So we're dealing with police brutality, political brutality, financial brutality, right? Nothing is happening.
Yeah.
And everybody is so distracted. And what they do is the government is clever. So the government is going to, spend hundreds of millions of dollars on marketing dollars to keep us away from what we're supposed to be looking at.
Right.
Now it's not the time to be concerned if P. Diddy goes to jail or not. Now is the time for us to realize that we need our black owned police department. We need black militias. We need our own armory. We need to start thinking about dual citizenship and taking over West Africa, decolonizing South Africa, right? Revitalizing Haiti, revitalizing DR. We need to think about building, having more black contractor companies. Right? The reason why our communities are in disarray, because we don't have any type of organizations in place that knows how to build up a community.
Yeah.
Right? And when you look at the state of Philly, real estate is ripe. We should be going into Philly and, purchasing all these homes and houses. We should be going into Detroit the same way the Jew went into Brooklyn, the same way the Jew went into fucking Crown Heights. We need to be going into fucking Detroit and buying every fucking property.
And Cleveland also.
Right? And so now we're sitting back and we're making a mistake because we can't see 10 years up the road. We can't see 20 years up the road. We can't see 30 years up the road. We can't even see 30 fucking minutes up the road. Right? So I don't have no views on, I think Club Shay Shay is a great distraction, right? A great form of escapism. Yeah. I think Cat Williams is a great form of escapism, because why we're not talking about the things that need to be talked about, and then why we're not creating, it's not a time for advocation, it's a time for application, right? Why are we not, because we're so distracted, right?
Yeah.
And again, if we keep allowing ourselves to be distracted, we're never going to get our just due. We're never going to get our freedom. Man doesn't have the power to enslave you. Man doesn't have the power to even free you, right? So we have to free ourselves. And the only way to do that is to be completely focused on an agenda that makes sense.
Well, being black is tough. You know what I'm saying? We haven't been focused in a very long time. Seriously, I used to talk to my grandfather about how desegregation actually cooked us a lot more than, it did in the way people look at it. And I look at a lot of these pop culture things where it's like, yeah, we are a bit fried and we are a bit overly focused. When people tell you these numbers, and that's another one, throwing out these numbers and, this did this did that, this did this many views, you start getting on the train almost of like, oh, I'm missing out by not watching that.
Exactly.
As opposed to, oh, I'm missing out by not investing in my neighborhood. Yeah, that's like a crazy mental flip. Because I've seen people literally like, yo, I served somebody who was wilding on so-and-so. Man, I got to check that out. It'd be like, your porch is falling apart. Right. Man, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'll get that later. So, yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah, see, but you got to understand, it's not by nature, this is not who we are.
Right.
No.
This is not an uninterrupted journey to enlightenment, right? Like, the government, media, marketing companies, right? They create these distractions. They create this poison. I mean, you got chemtrails. You got planes that fly over the neighborhoods that let off chemicals that affect us, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, when you guys were young, it was a liquor store on every corner. You fast forward to today, it's a weed shop on every corner. Right? And now what they did, they put synthetic prescription drugs in the marijuana. So the same way they use crack to break down our communities in the 80s, and then they use music to break down our communities in the 90s and the 2000s, now they're using the marijuana to break down our communities.
Break down Gen
Because
Z.
what's the only drug? Now look, they use Section 8 to remove the black man from the household.
Right.
They use crack to remove the black woman from her child, as well as dope and heroin. Right? These are the only drugs that completely separated the mother from the child. If you fast forward to today, they're using marijuana to separate the young black mother from her child. Because these girls nowadays having babies, they have that same detachment that the crack mother had because there's synthetic crack in the marijuana, right? And, we're not consciously aware of that. There's chemicals in the food that sometimes make it hard to move, that can make you lethargic, that can make you
tryptophan and things like
what
that.
the fuck is going on, right? There's chemicals in the food that create autism. We have never seen so many babies with autism in our life.
Listen.
We've never seen so many black women with thyroid problems. We've never seen so many black people with dementia, right? Like,
And various forms of cancer too.
right. So there's a chemical warfare as well, right? So we don't produce anything. We don't produce our own clothes. We don't produce our own food. We don't produce our own security. We don't have our own government here in America. We're in a concentration camp. It's just a little more prettier.
You know, it's funny. I was watching a show the other day, and they were in like Chinatown in New York, and basically it was a guy running for like office in Chinatown, and they were, for whatever reason, it was like a deep dive into like the politics of not just the city but Chinatown. And the guy's like, "You're not from here. You're just not going to get it." And he was showing how like all the business owners in the community were behind him to run for like his political seat, and showing how he got into something. Basically, long story short, he got into something. The police force gave him a detail. When the detail showed up the second day, it was like all Asian people in like suits or whatever. And the guy was like, "Yo, what's going on?" I was like, "Oh, we brought in our own private security. We keep everything in house." And I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
But see,
It's crazy.
But that's why we never got out of slavery.
Right.
The Civil Rights Act, none of this stuff was designed to benefit us, right? And all the founding fathers did was create more adaptive strategy in terms of systematic or systemic racism, right? Everything just evolved. So when you understand that, then you understand that, okay, we got to get out of America. It's too far gone.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so then you have this group of Negroes, house niggas, I call them, that have this can't beat them, join them mentality. And you can never join them, though.
Right.
You can never join them. I was just watching Planet of the Apes, right? And in the beginning of Planet of the Apes, they had the scene and they're in the woods, right? And like, "Come here, donkey." And they got the apes working with the humans to kill other apes, right? And, so they captured them all, and Caesar's talking to them, and he's like, look at they naming him Caesar, right? This is all programmed, right? And Caesar was a fucking weirdo. But so he's like, he got him lined up, right? And he's like, "Yo, yeah, we don't worry about those apes. They're traders. They're afraid of me. They used to work with Cobra." And the guy, the other ape, he speaks up. He's like, "We don't fear you. The humans have everything. They're gonna kill you all. How long do you think you can defend against them in the woods?" Right? So that's the can't beat them, join them mentality.
Right.
But those stupid monkeys looked at donkeys to the humans, right? So there's a bunch of house niggas and black people who feel like, okay, I can't beat the white man, I'm gonna join them. You're not gonna never join the white man.
Yeah,
right?
It's funny. I just brought up my grandfather, a conversation we had. This was years ago, and I remember him telling me when they started the whole desegregation thing, it was honestly the worst thing that could have happened to us at the time because it made us stop worrying about ourselves and the things that we were building. Because up until that point, we can't go there. We don't. So now it's
you had Black Wall Street, you had
we have our
Opa-locka,
own markets,
you had South Street in Philly. All of that was black owned.
I'm going to finish that point, right? Only because, and I want to expound on what you said. Only because they understood that there's a difference between being organized and being mobilized. Right? It's the difference between being organized and being mobilized. So so now with the movie though, right? So the ape was just like, yo, I can't, we're not going to beat them. We might as well join them. Yeah. Right? And the position that you get for thinking you're going to join your oppressor is worse than slavery. Right? So we have to understand that America was never designed for the advancement of our people in the head start that the colonizers and the people who have oppressed our people, the head start that they have here in America, we're never going to catch up. And at the end of the day, this boat has a hole in it. We need to be thinking about Africa, Haiti, and DR. And then when you talked about desegregation, it's because when we're segregated, now we're going to organize. When we're integrated, we're just going to mobilize. There's a difference, right? So when you get people saying, well, okay, and we always mistake mobilization for organization, right? So you get a bunch of niggas with picket signs, yo, justice or else, BLM, 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 Black Lives Matter, BLM, and they're in the neat line, they're in the neatest, most unintrusive line, and the police are standing there watching them. They're just looking, right? You're mobilized.
This is overtime.
Right? You're mobilized. You're BLM, Black Lives Matter. When do we want it? Now. When do we want it? Now. When do we want it? Now. And everybody is like thinking they're doing something, right? And they're mobilized, right? But, you're not organized, right? You're not organized. You're not, and again, I mean,
not to cut you off. And while they're doing that, the people at the top of BLM are buying mansions and Rolls Royces and taking lavish vacations and patting their own pockets on the back of all of these black people that have been martyrized.
Yeah, because they're organized and they're using that form of being mobilized as not only a tool for distraction, but a way to leverage them to create profits off of our elements, right? And us wanting to be free. We're people of rhythm. We're people of passion, right? So, black women are gonna, who the fuck you talking to? Black men are like, yo, what's up, man? Right? We're like that,
passionate.
Right? We're passionate. And a lot of times that passion is used as a distraction. Now it's not the time for us to be mobilized. We have to be organized. If you're gonna protest, then okay, how does this protest affect traffic, right? How does this protest affect public transportation in locations of the oppressor,
right?
In neighborhoods that are not predominantly
black.
How
does what we're doing disturb their economy to create enough of an inconvenience?
Tearing up our own parks
where we have to get something in exchange for moving off of their turf.
And the way to create that impact is entrepreneurship, right? Is ownership, is building something that we own that is going to be competitive with businesses that they have already in pre-existence. So an example of that is everybody looks at Uber, right? Looks at Uber. Yeah. And people look at Rosa Parks, right? Rosa Parks, they use that, right? Like once Rosa Parks had the issue with the bus, what we did, we had our own transportation. We was building our own buses.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, okay. Let this bitch sit wherever she wants to sit. Right. Okay. It never was about that, right? So now we have to understand how to develop companies, how to build institutions, and how to create our own economic power structure. Because black people's disposable income is over $240 billion. As a nation, not even an organized nation, our finances here in America, we're richer than Dubai. Check it out. Now, people think of Dubai, they think, oh my God, Dubai has all the... No. Our purchasing power is we're more wealthier than Dubai. But it's not organized.
Mm-hmm.
You see? It's just temporarily mobilized, right? And now this is how you know how to hold our leaders accountable, because nobody's talking about the organization of the disposable income of our people, and then organizing that disposable income and then allocating that capital into institutions, and then saying, okay, the same way you got a Chinatown. I spoke about this 3 years ago. They erased it off the internet, right? I met with
Yes, not to further your point. The typical black family makes $44,000 a year, and according to Black Consumer Spending Statistics, the African American purchasing power for 2024 is expected to be $1.9 trillion.
So check it out. Check it out. How many black politicians talk about leveraging that purchasing power and then allocating that capital into institutions that will create more generational wealth for us as a people? You don't hear those conversations
at all.
You hear people.
Well, no, they're trying to get you.
They give us one day. They tell you, oh yeah, the day after Black Friday, you done gave a white man all your money. Go spend it with some black businesses.
No, and buy 2 tickets to my fundraiser, $100.
Spending money with black business is not spending money with black business, because we don't even have any black business, right? So we have to understand what business means, right? So now if you say, well, typically when people say spend money with black business, you're just saying purchase my merch, right? But we don't have any mills. We don't have any factories.
Yeah, if I buy a T-shirt off of you who sells T-shirts, it's like, well, who's distributing the shirt?
Right.
Who's producing
We don't
the
have
shirt?
we don't have any mills. We don't have any black fashion houses. We don't have any black textile companies, right? So now when we understand, and again, it's not our fault. This is why I said this is not an uninterrupted journey to black independence.
Yeah.
There's landmines on that road, right? And there's IEDs all over the place, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with IEDs, right?
Yeah.
What's IED?
Like drone strikes.
No,
and stuff.
IEDs is
Improvised explosive device.
Okay.
like landmines and shit.
Right? It's improvised. It's just like an IED could be in this little nail thing, right? Right? So what I'm saying is there's a lot of bullshit that is in between us and true education.
Right.
So now when we're educated and we're informed, this is why conversation like this is so important, to say, well, okay, look, hey, we have to have more conversations about what is black business, what matters, and stop feeding the beast of distraction. Stop feeding the beast of propaganda and misinformation.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about P. Diddy. He's a piece of shit. Cool. We know what happens with shit in a toilet bowl. You flush it.
Yeah.
I'm not getting scuba diver gear and trying to follow where the shit went after I flushed it. Fuck P. Diddy. Flush his ass down the toilet. He's been a piece of shit. And let's keep it moving, and let's get to this real, battle.
Ain't it kind of wild at how our community at times can just hang on and harp on the same? Think about how many motherfuckers legitimately 6-7 shows in to the Drake Kendrick shit or the Cat Williams shit, and it just be like, bruh, I agree with you. Let me ask you this real quick. Do you think symbolism is the biggest issue?
In terms of what?
Like how we look at these people as
No. So look, you got to understand how this is chemical warfare, right? So content activates chemicals, right?
Yeah, it makes you feel something one way or another.
So when we talk about the placebo effect, right? When we talk about, let's look at performance enhancement drugs or sexual enhancement drugs. This is a shameless plug, So if you get some pink horsepower, right? And you know what pink horsepower, right? You get some pink horsepower, right? And you just sit there, it's gonna work. Of course. It's gonna definitely work. Drink some pink horsepower and watch some porno.
Yeah, or have a bitch. Well,
right? No, listen.
Yeah.
Right?
Have a young lady come in the room. Yeah.
So what's gonna happen is,
sorry, Vicky.
So what's gonna happen is that external stimulus activates the internal stimulant.
Right, yes.
That you digested. You see? So there's things in the food, there's things in the marijuana that we have indirectly ingested into our bodies that gets activated when we see certain content. Right. Okay, let me say that again. This is a very powerful.
I agree with you.
It's a very powerful strategy of the oppressor, right?
Yeah.
There's things in our food that we're unaware that we ingest, right? And these things stay in our body for a long time. And when we watch certain content, that content activates the chemicals in our body and creates a response that sometimes leads to aggression, sometimes leads to fear, sometimes leads to violence, right? So when we understand this is why, then we can defend against it. And let me say this last point, right? In order for us to defend against it, we have to produce our own food, right? So now if I digest a piece of steak that has pre-workout chemicals in it, I'm juiced up, not even knowing. Then when I go to a movie theater and I watch a movie, whoa, man, I'm ready to leave the movie. I think I'm on. I'll be back. I'm ready to do you like Arnold Schwarzenegger did in the movie.
Right.
Pause. Right. So, in order for us to, it was crazy.
I love New York niggas.
But in order for us to truly defend against this,
you have to be aware of it. You need consciousness of it.
Not only aware, but you have to have ownership. So if we know there's chemicals placed in the food that will be activated once we have an external stimulus, we have to start creating the foods that we actually eat and owning those things.
It is crazy because now they're doing like infused everything. Pizza, buffalo wings, and we were out one night and the girl was like, yo, you want some of this cupcake? I'm just like, we got cupcakes. You know what I'm saying? Some fat shit. I'm eating the cupcake and she like, oh, slow down on the edible. And it was like, like the whole world crashing. It was just wait, what?
right. So again, you got to be careful, right? Because the food becomes a catalyst for the chemical.
Right.
So now this is why there's a mass marketing for infused foods, because now it gives more avenues to get that chemical into your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And then now when you watch this piece of content, you're programmed and don't even realize that the strings of Geppetto. I
ain't gonna front. I wonder why.
Sticks, man.
I wonder why it's the same motherfuckers on every post on these blogs arguing, going 150. Can you ever notice that?
Yes.
160 comments arguing with everybody on every post, and it just be like, yo, you need something else to do. But the reason I brought up symbolism is because I do feel at times we pay more attention to certain names, and these companies and all of these different businesses know that. So you'll look up and you'll see somebody.
No, be careful. Gotta be careful when you say that, right? Because accountability is important, right?
I agree. I agree.
I agree with what you're saying. I would just want you to shift it a little bit, right? Like, because we're conditioned to pay attention to.
Right.
Okay.
But I think that they understand that. That's why you look up and you see this person selling this that has nothing to do with that, or this person involved in that who has nothing to do with that, because they know we're just going to get the eyes and awareness. And
but they create. So again, I'm not mad at Pinocchio. I'm mad at Geppetto.
I can understand it.
Right? So I don't give a fuck how high up the puppet master's skybox is. I'm going to get me a sniper rifle and head tap Geppetto. Okay? I'm going to be patient with Pinocchio, even when Pinocchio moves in a way that...
No, I'm not mad at certain celebrities. I'm just saying. I'm more so talking about us as people, just as like the community itself.
I got you, but listen, let me cook. I'm trying to get you views, man. Right? So I'm not tripping off Pinocchio, right? I'm going to be cautious around Pinocchio, right? But I know Geppetto's in the skybox. Mm-hmm. I gotta get the proper sniper rifle to head tap him. And a lot of times, our oppressors, the colonizers, have been clever with the techniques to the point where we blame each other now. Oh, yo, black people do this, and yo, man, black people the one killing black people. Oh yeah, you putting chemicals in the food that made me hate my brother. You put chemicals in the food that's making me horny. So now you trying to tell me this little girl is hot in the pants when you've been pumping all this steroids and chemicals in the food. Oh, this little, look at the kids, the children now.
To that point, I've heard now that like kids are going through puberty as young as 8, 9 years old now.
not natural.
That's not natural.
So
That's
check
a
it out.
complete chemical imbalance.
Check it out. So now you look at the girl who's overly developed physically, but is still a child mentally.
Right.
And you like, oh my God, she's a thought. You look at the kid who's the little black boy who's overdeveloped physically, but is a child mentally. He's getting in trouble, but he's 6'5". You look at some of these kids, right?
Yeah.
Go to the park.
Shit, nigga, I was one of them.
Right?
Shit, but
No, not even.
I was a large kid.
Listen, no, pause.
Yeah, definitely heavy on that.
Go to the park. Listen, go to the park. I was in the park yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at these kids. I'm like, okay, I gotta look away because these girls are young. These high school. These chicks are like grown women, and the kids look like grown men. If I'm not careful, I fight. If I'm not careful, the kid, I might not give a kid a pass. He might say, "What we talking to?" But this kid's 14.
Yeah.
He's 6'7". He look facial hair like you. Like, what the fuck? Hold up, man.
Yeah.
Make me uncomfortable with you, right, Chad? Right? So what I'm saying is we don't realize that these scenarios are not created by us. They're created by the oppressor. And the oppressor has been so clever with throwing rocks at us and hiding his hand.
Right.
Right? It's like we're sitting in a room and we talking, and I'm like, yo, bro, pass me that water. And you act like you about to pass the water. And then the white man hit you in the head with a rock from...
He's the white man?
No.
Oh, okay.
The actual white man.
The actual white man.
I didn't know what was going on.
He hit you with a rock, like from a sniper rifle 3,000 miles away. I can't even see him. You can't even see him. And every time you turn, now you looking at me like, yo, what the fuck you? Now you ready to kill? Now you didn't attack me. And I'm like, yo, man, Then they distracted him. He looking this way, so he can't see that I didn't throw the rock, and you can't see that I didn't throw the rock. I'm the only person that knows I didn't throw the rock.
Right.
So now he's like, you ready to hit me in the head with a rock, and you like, man, why you hit my man with a rock? And y'all both kicked my ass, but meanwhile, the white man laughing at all of us. And then y'all beat me within the fucking coma. You go to jail, right? And then now you take his place, and now you getting hit with a rock, and they play. And
then the cycle repeats itself.
Right? So we got to understand the white man is the problem. The white man is the problem. And we're so desensitized. Everybody talks about P. Diddy. You don't understand what's going on. The white man is the problem. The white man don't want our people. And do I want it to be this way? No. Is it this way? Yes. And when we start to understand, right? Mm-hmm. And again, you can't understand if you're not educated on understanding, right? You can't understand if you're holding on to the white man's ankle straps like, yeah, man, just put your slong on my forehead, right? Like, the fuck, man? Like, no. They've been killing us for over 400 years. We have never got out of slavery. If you look at old speeches from Malcolm X, right? Mm-hmm. Look at old speeches from Dr. Martin Luther King. Make a compilation of black leadership 60 years ago and look at they're saying the same shit. Mm-hmm. Nothing has changed. So why do we think just because the white man is smiling more that he's our friend?
I mean, because niggas can go buy Balenciagas and can get a nice car or whatever, so they feel like, because the racism is not blatantly in their face, they feel like it's a different circumstance than what it actually is.
The chitlins got different, okay?
Yo, they definitely are selling like chitlin loaf egg rolls and all these different places now. This shit is crazy.
So again,
as fuck.
they changed.
Like,
so we have to.
We was talking the other day, and it's like, you remember when we were young, at least coming from my grandparents, all that from the South, and like we heard of like collard greens and neck bones and chicken feet and all of that, like it was like the bottom of the barrel and you ate what you had.
Yeah.
And now you go to like upscale restaurant and it's like
that's all that's
collard
on the menu.
greens in a white bowl. This shit is crazy.
But I'm saying that's the conditioning, right? So
no.
when we understand that we do have an enemy, right? Then we can defend against that enemy. And again, most people are not going to say that, right? Like the white man is our enemy. Like, what do you, like, I did an interview the other day, right? And, man, I got a lot of flack for it, right? And the guy was like,
I can see some flack coming.
The flack is low enough, right?
How much, listen, let me ask you a question. How much more flack can you take if your mother was put in a pot the size of this whole half of this room, and they took your mother and put her in a pot and boiled her alive. And then when she was boiled alive, they took her out the pot, chopped her body up, and fed it to the dogs. And then the people that threw your moms in a pot, chopped her up, told you to go walk that dog, wash that dog, pick that dog shit up, and then when that dog shits out your mom, he's gonna put that infused feces with your mom's on a plate and make you fucking eat it. And that's been your diet for the last 20 years, and you're gonna sit here and act like it's all fucking good. You understand? So what I'm saying is it's like, yo, we can't film no more, right? I'm going up, man. Fuck white people. And I got
They said this.
Thanks a lot, smart.
Yeah, right. And they asked me, right? And they asked me, it's like, yo, how do you feel? You know, how do you feel? I started going off, right? How do you feel about Palestine? And how do you feel, man? Fuck Palestine. Fuck Gaza. How many people from Palestine got asked about the murders that's happening in Philly? How many people in Gaza got asked about the murders that's happening in Harlem? Why do we always get asked how do we feel about other people, but the other people never get asked how do they feel about what we're going through? And if we say something about them, then it's like, oh my God, what is wrong with him? No, fuck all of them. Okay? I'm concerned with my people. I'm concerned with the people that's in Philly, the people in Cleveland, people in Ohio, people in Brooklyn. There's so many kids. You know how many kids more kids died in Harlem last year than in Palestine. And
that's a fact.
And they'll try to erase that and make you feel, no, I'm not desensitized. I love black people. I love people who look like me. I'm not here to what happened, Master? Is we sick? Is we hurt, boss? Right? I don't give a fuck of what happens to them. Okay? And we can't get into power until we stop caring about our oppressors more than we care about ourselves. That's slavery. Okay? We place more punishment on the word faggot than the word nigger. See? So now, I'm not a nigga. I'm a god. That's not a bitch. That's a goddess. You see? So now, you say anti-Semitic. Well, how can I be anti-Semitic when y'all not even Jew? What are real Jewish people? What God's chosen people? See? But there's no education that's informing and educating us on who we are. That's what my brand has been about. Okay?
You know, this is the talk that got Kyrie kicked out of the NBA for like 8 months, right?
He chose to be in the NBA. And again, I'm not with no
Kyrie hooping in cardboard sneakers.
but what I'm saying is again, that when people talk like that, right? Not saying you guys, right?
Yeah.
Are you a homosexual?
No.
Do you like dick in your butt?
I do not.
So
I am vehemently against dick in my butt.
So if a person is
this
like,
is an anti-dick in my butt zone.
Look, man, you know.
I looked at Dan, and that's what fucked it up.
No,
if I look at Dan, I don't even make a face.
So what I'm saying is
and I'm with you. I follow.
There should be no amount of money that's gonna let a man get behind you.
It don't exist,
right? You see that meme that white Dan was like.
Right. So what I'm saying is that's the problem, right? You know. There's too much compromise, and we have to. We as men, we have to have principles. We have to have morals. We have to have value, right?
Integrity.
So I don't fuck Kyrie. I don't respect him for that. He should have never played in the NBA again. Fuck is you talking about, man? Listen, and these people who make so much money, it's cap. These motherfuckers ain't making. If you made $100 million, right? Go play basketball overseas. Make an ABA, African Basketball Association.
Well, J. Cole tried.
No, man.
You know what I'm saying?
No, he didn't make his own association. Right? But what I'm saying is no. What's Ice Cube, right?
Yes.
Ice Cube toyed with the concept with the big three, right? Kyrie, you got money. Get behind, pause, Ice Cube and say, look, we're going to make the ABA. We're going to grab some retired players who are not so retired, right? Who retired from the NBA with a bust your ass overseas.
Yeah, still have viability in terms of their talent and their name.
We go get Melo. We go get right.
Dwight Howard, all of
right.
That.
We go get these guys. We go holler at Stephon Marbury, right? Because he understands. Because he's been in China playing, right? So we go, okay, let's build this, and then we go get the players, and then we give players equity, more equity than they're getting. Because if a commission, if an organization can pay you $100 million, then what are they generating?
Billions.
What are they generating?
Yeah.
So
we playing players $300 million.
Right. So who's more important? The owners or the players? The players are more important. But there's no organizations or coalitions in place to teach these basketball players how powerful they are. Yeah. Right? Dr. J is gonna. If Dr. J goes to the Rucker in his prime, the same amount of people that's in the Garden, they're in the Polo Grounds.
Yeah. To that point, a lot of people don't know this, but Wilt Chamberlain, when he came out, he went to the Globetrotters first.
Yeah.
Yeah, before he went to the NBA. Yeah.
So look, you see how he telling me shit I don't even know, right? So imagine how many people have this knowledge base of how powerful we are in terms of an attraction.
Right.
Yeah, they gave him $100,000 because the NBA couldn't pay that at the time. He's 100 bands, right? Fuckers Mo's down. I'm pulling up. Like,
so again, there's no punishment for independence.
No.
There's only opportunities for ownership. Right? We have to stop pushing this agenda of punishment for ownership. There's no punishment for ownership. There's only opportunity. Right? There's no punishment for independence. There's only opportunity for ownership. Right? Like there's no pushback. There's no pushback for me. I'm God's child, the devil's op. I'm protected by my Father. I don't have more faith in the weapons of the devil against God's defense, right? God's protection. So we understand that. Mm-hmm. And we have conversations like that. And then we create institutions that teach little black boys how to be confident, how to have morals, how to have values. We have institutions in place that teach little black girls how to respect black men, how to value black men, how to love black men. And now it ain't about no fucking check. You can't give me nothing to be a trader. You can't give our woman nothing to trade our man. You can't give our man nothing to trade their masculinity. That has to be taught.
Yeah.
Right? So again, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm doing. This is my life's work, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm getting ready to do a fundraiser, and I'm gonna raise money for a rec center. I'm gonna raise money for a school. I'm not owned by the white man. I don't give a fuck about the white man. Yeah. And I've learned that when you put the devil in the car and let him play chicken versus God, we're gonna see who comes out the car wash and who ends up in the car wreck.
I don't know where we're at right now. I looked at the note. I looked at the notes. No, I looked at the notes because we're all over the place.
No, we're not. Listen, see, don't say that, right? Because we're not all over the place. We're right.
No, I'm sorry. As far as like the structure of what we thought we were going to go down the road with.
Listen, it's flowing because at the end of the day, what we're doing is let's recap. We talked about in the beginning. We talked about mindset. Mm-hmm. We talked about the importance of getting our payout as content creators. We are so profitable, right? So that was the first, right? And we know, my mindset and my brand is about waking up us, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So we touched on different topics, right? And then I gave context to certain questions you guys were asking, right? And then we're flowing.
No, that's why I said, fuck this.
I like that. That's good. Right? So
it's just when we get with you, we know to expect the unexpected.
We
know
talk
that,
like this off the mic. Like, it's just, that's normal. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the next question?
How do we illuminate the black consciousness to be more like, to assimilate more to the mindset of what you're saying, where it's like, let's master the micro, master the macro next. Let's build industry. Let's do all of these things. Like, you have a very clear roadmap. And when we were with Dr. Umar Johnson, he says the same thing. When we were with Pastor Carl Day, Culture Changing Christians in Philly, he said the same thing.
I don't know about Dr. Umar Johnson. Y'all know him better than me.
Let's get it.
I'm saying because I reached out to him on Instagram and he said somebody texted me back $5,000 to go on Instagram Live. And send me
really? Doctor lost his marbles.
He's feeling this up.
Listen,
that's disappointing.
So when I saw it, right, I didn't know. Like, listen, I don't know if that's actually him running the page,
or is that an auto-generated response?
Yeah, because but no, it wasn't an auto-generated response. But it was like, it was just crazy, right? Because I'm gonna let you see it, right?
Yeah, let's call out the hypocrisy. You can't say that you about black people and then try to charge black people $5,000 to go on Instagram Live.
I don't know if that, like it's definitely someone that's running the page. right?
Yeah.
But no, read it out. I want you to read the DM.
Yeah. Good morning, brother. Would love to do an Instagram live with you.
No, read go back. Go to dates because I reached out.
Yeah. This is going back 6 years at this point. October 23rd, 2018.
TRPE exclusive.
Yeah, October 23rd, 2018. Brother, give me a call. Not saying your number. I just want to talk to you for a brief moment. August 6th, 2021. You mentioned them twice in your story. February 29th, 2024, 11:37 a.m. Good morning, brother. Would love to do an Instagram live with you. Blank. This is my number. My name is Smart. They responded back March 1st. That would cost $5,000, 50% deposit to confirm with balance due before conversation. Text this number to schedule. You
call that number right now and put on speaker.
We getting real ridiculous today.
Transparency is important. Put on speaker.
It's on speaker.
Down on speaker.
Dr. Jermaine Shoemaker, please leave a message, and we will return your call as soon as we are able. Thank you.
Sorry, mailbox is full.
Did that sound like his voice?
Yes.
Okay. So again,
5K for an IG live is nuts.
no. Listen. So what I'm saying
Are they twerking in the background over there? Like, what's going on?
Right. But when so to answer your question is, we have to have accountability conversations, and we need to create some type of a council for our leadership.
My black people in totality?
No. We have a leadership branch, right? Mm-hmm. So the government of Africa is less than 100 years old, right? So there's going to be a lot of faulty systems in place because it's just new.
Yeah.
Dr. Umar Johnson represents a powerful position. Young Pharaoh represents a powerful position. 19 Keys, Riz Islam, like, you know, all these people, right? But they're like the African government is young, right? Like we're just you have people that I believe have our people's best interests in heart,
right? But
there's no institutions or council to develop that leadership. So then there's sucker shit that happens. So, if you knew better, you do better.
Yeah.
Right? So I think back to the question, like how do we get people to assimilate to a better mindset of us being together? Well, we have to empower the ones who got it right. And then we have to create institutions that our people can go to condition the mind in that way. Yeah. This is why I'm doing a fundraiser. This is why I'm raising money, and I'm putting a very aggressive deadline on the fundraiser. And then I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna go public about it, and I want to raise $12 million. I want to purchase the YMCA in Harlem, and then I'm gonna just publicly every step of the way make this transparent and raw, and say like, hey, look, if you're a black contractor, you know how to do this. Listen, let's go. This don't take 5 years to do this. I've watched Jewish people build buildings in 6 fucking months. Right? So if we want to change, well, we need things that can maintain the mindset of change. Right?
Ownership, industry, manufacturing, distribution.
Talk that talk. Right? So, and then we have to empower the ones who have shown a history of credibility. We have to empower the ones who have shown that they're not going to compromise for clout, for relationships. I'm saying that for me. Yeah, I'm one of those people, and I've met 19 Keys. It was a fucked up experience for me because I'm reaching out to this brother. I'm getting left on scene. My manager.
Oh yeah, you fuck it. Let's do it. We had an interview planned with 19.
So check it out.
We were coming up here that morning. He emailed us and was like, "Well, his manager emailed us and was like, yeah, Keys don't feel like thinking today, so we'll get with you."
Yeah, interview off.
Because and again, this is what I'm saying, right? So they came to New York. My manager was reaching out to them, and his manager was going back and forth corresponding, right? And they had came to New York. They was doing some fashion show, and I was enraged. I was just like infuriated, like, so y'all playing with me? Like, yo, bro, I want to just sit down, let's talk and have a conversation. And I had told the manager, and listen, I'm not, I don't want to play tough. I'm not, you know, this is, I just was disappointed. And I was frustrated, and I was just gonna address it in a way that I only knew how. Like you in my hometown, I know where you're at, right?
We pulling receipts out.
Yeah, you have to. Unfortunately, so it's a peace family. Unfortunately, Keys doesn't want to do any interviews or anything with Thinking today, and we need. So right then and there, I'd have been triggered.
Nigga, triggered,
super triggered.
Well, well, not nigga. Right?
I'm sorry, brother. Sorry, brother. Like, yeah.
But telling me, like, okay, well, I don't want to do anything. What the fuck you mean? You like,
yes,
right? So
we went to lunch and we were both just sitting there. Like, remember, we were right.
So check it, right? So now I infiltrated the fashion show.
Right? You sound like the baby when he shot that nigga on his property. He called the police. He's the threat has been neutralized.
Right? So I get to I get to the fashion show. Right? I get into the fashion show. I mean, I know how to move. You know, I had a different life before content creation.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I was in the field of getting to places that I wasn't supposed to be.
Yes.
Right. So I get there and I get right up on him, right? I get right in, like and the way he looked at me, it was almost like a fuck he doing here, right?
Yeah.
And then that made me feel some type of way, right? And so so I put I got the clothes on, you know what I mean?
The whole time.
Yeah. So
like, stay right there, bro. I'm about to go walk. I'm about to walk in the fashion.
So he goes and walks. And I'm waiting with all the models in the back, right? And when he comes off the stage, he don't say nothing to me. They make a beeline for the staircase, right? They make a beeline and they out and they bounce. And I'm like, no, I'm woo. Look, man, I want to, and I was just adamant about us having a sit down and having a conversation.
Yeah.
And we actually sat down and we spoke, right? And I just didn't like the interaction. And again, I'm not saying this for clout, because everybody that knows my brand,
it happened.
Everybody that knows my brand, they know I don't give a fuck about that. Like I don't, and that's the problem, because do you have a conscious business or you're trying to make consciousness a business? Right? And
that was hard.
Right? And
then you should have hit some kind of button. I don't know.
Right? So what happens is, we have all these brothers that come in and they're trying to make consciousness a business. And then there's no sense of urgency. You're not realizing that. I'm only reaching out because I'm saying, okay, I'm willing to fight. Let's do something. Right?
Yeah.
I'm strong mentally. I'm strong on the internet now. Like I have a platform. Yo, bro, what's up? Let's go. We at war, right? And so I'm reaching out with that intention, and you're looking at me like I'm beneath you. But dude, you just talk, fly, and make videos.
Right.
What the fuck are we doing? Yeah. We're not like, just because I got 4 billion views on TikTok, I got 5. I mean, my engagement is through the roof, right?
Right.
I still reach out to people because I'm trying to make change.
Absolutely.
I'm not looking at you like, oh yeah, talk to my major.
Yeah, no. You and your team reached out to us. They're like, yo, really, it's time to come back around.
You ain't
right?
on that.
Let's build. Right, let's build. Like, what are we doing? How are we building?
Yeah.
Right?
Shout out to Each One Teach One podcast too, man.
Yeah, real shit, right?
Yeah, real shit. That's my guy.
So I'm like, this is why we have to have conversations with the so-called thought leaders that we have.
Yeah.
And we have to understand, stop trying to monetize our need for change and actually create things that lead to change.
Absolutely.
Right? And this is not a business. This is not a business. This is a war. And if you're strong, like you say you are,
we definitely did monetize hope.
Yes, the fuck we did.
Yeah, we monetized the fuck out of hope.
Because the white man let us do that. Yeah. Because that's the mobilization and not the organization. So if everybody looks at 19 Keys and it's like, okay, you get all these people coming to Apollo, yo, get on the ground level now. Yo, make a PSA.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, everybody that want to help black people right now, I want you guys to come, show up right now, and let's do something right now. right? You know, but you don't see that.
You don't see that. You see
we said Million Man March, right? Listen, I reached out to my son and I told my son, I said, look, bro, let's do a $1 million donation. If motherfuckers got 1 million brothers to come fucking march, you mean to tell me we don't got 1 million brothers that got $2 in their pocket? So you got 1 million brothers that got $2 in their pocket. Listen, this number is so fucking low. Give up the $2 million, motherfucker. Give up the $2.
Yeah.
Now you have $2 million.
Yeah.
Then you find a financial institution and you put that money in the bank. Now you have $2 million liquid that can be matched and you can build something in that community. Now, that is not going to work unless you have a face card that has respect and value to those groups of people.
Yeah.
That the face card, the face card is the mobilization.
Yeah.
Right? The leadership is the organization. The problem with us is we have face cards
as the organizers. I'm with you, bro.
And we don't have any organizers at all.
Yeah, because you know the first thing people going to say when this thing goes up, million man donation and this, who the fuck is the steward of this money? Who's the face of this organization? And what the fuck y'all doing with it?
Listen,
because black people are naturally suspicious that way.
But listen, that suspicion is just an excuse for lack of execution.
Exactly.
Because you're not suspicious when you go buy the Henny. You're not suspicious when you go and purchase General Toso chicken, and that's not chicken, that's actually rats imported from China.
Yeah, not suspicious when you go buy the Henny. It's just funny. That's real, though.
You're not suspicious with that, right?
When you buy a deeply discounted vagina on a list crawler, you're not suspicious.
Yeah. So let's talk about it, right? So
zero suspicion. All the suspicion out the window.
Right? So again, the white man has weaponized.
That's silly as shit.
Right? That's real shit, though. The white man has weaponized black suspicion as a way to keep us away from executing and mobilizing and organizing our dollars and allocating that into something that creates change. So this is why I'm doing a fundraiser. I want you guys to help me, partner up with me and say, look, okay, we got 2 months to get this building. This is how much this building costs. We're going to make YouTube lives and vlogs and say, okay, look, this building costs this much. Every step of the way, you can't purchase something with dollars, right? Like it takes real money, right?
Yeah.
And what happens is the person that's doing the Ponzi scheme or the scam artist, he's allowing you to invest in something long term because he has no short term intention of doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So 2 months we need to have this building. If not, fuck you and fuck your donation. That's what it's about, right? So again, we have these people who can mobilize, but they will never organize because they don't give a fuck. And it's been and they've been so profitable in terms of mobilizing and monetizing hope that we look at them like they're saviors. And then when we have that interaction with them, we're disappointed. Yeah. I don't feel like thinking today. Well, listen, you don't feel like being black today? You're a nigga whether Monday to Sunday, you're a nigga to them. You're you're in front of a gun. And we lost that. See, Huey P. Newton understood that.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest since we're talking about it. You're absolutely right. You're disappointed more than anything because we genuinely wanted to have a conversation with man, same way we did with you, with Umar, with all these, Pastor Carl, everybody, our political people, everyone. If he could have been dead as been like, man, I got the swine flu. I'd been like, all right, whatever. No. But it's like to say I don't feel like thinking was kind of just like
you didn't even respect me enough to offer me a valid excuse.
Yeah, right.
But
that's where I was at.
We at war, so we got to get these house niggas to understand. You fucking idiots. We're at war. So this is not, you think because you got a nice sweet spot on the plantation that you're safe.
Right.
No, when the white man decides to really push that button, he's pushing that button on all niggers. Including you niggas too. So when you understand that, then it's a sense of urgency. I don't got to look for you. You looking for me.
Right.
You ain't got to look for me. I'm looking for you. Yo, what's up, man? Look, Realest Podcast. So we need to do this and third. Okay, let's do this fundraiser. Where y'all from? Where y'all from? Where y'all from?
Philly.
So look, check it. Help me get this rec center in Harlem. Yo, I'm helping you get a boxing gym in Philly, right?
Right.
And we say, okay, look, man. What's going on? right? Yo, look, man, Dan the Man. He's behind the boards, right? We need a fucking media space for Dan the Man, right? How do we do that? And then when we understand the financial opportunities for our independence, not the pushback, not the punishment. There's no punishment for self-reliance. Self-reliance is a virtue, not a punishment, right? So now when we understand that there's blessings for us doing for self, and the only thing that can hinder that blessing is attacking the opposition in a violent way. So how you fight this war is detachment. We have to segregate. We have to unplug because they have made us the battery for their generators, right? And they're generating revenue off of us, but we're the batteries, you see? And then we have a bunch of traders in our culture, and those traders only trade us for dollars. So now we can inform those idiots that you're going to make more money with your people. And don't worry, house nigger, you're safe. There's no noose for your neck here, buddy. You're good. You're okay. I know you think the white man is going to kick down the door with sheets on his head and murder us all. God is going to protect you and me, right? So that's why we have to have counsel for our thought leaders, even though most of our thought leaders are fucking traitors.
I was about to say, do you feel like there needs to be a counsel for the council?
Yeah, God is that.
Okay.
Right? Because God is going to God is moving me, right? God is empowering me. I'm getting stronger by the minute. But I still have that sense of urgency.
Right.
I'm not looking at, yo, that's smart. Like, it fucked me up the other day, right? When the brother was like, he was in tears. Yo, man, you helped me so much. And I had to hug him, right? But I'm like, yo, bro, I'm fighting for you and me, man. Bro, what we talking about?
Yeah.
See? I'm not addicted to this. Woo, let's go smart. No,
What drives you?
Man, the plight of us. You know what I mean? Like what we go through. Like, I mean, we don't got nothing, but we got everything, but we don't got nothing.
Are there times where you don't feel it?
I'm black. Every day I look in the mirror, I feel it. Every day I look at
I mean, more so like the fight in you for people when you feel like you're not cutting through.
I have to, because at the end of the day, again, that's why I said Pinocchio can't discourage me. I know Geppetto was put him up to it, and then now I'm proud to be a god.
Yeah.
Right. And then again, there's a movie, right? Every black man needs to watch. It's called Sabotage. Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it. Dan the Man, I want you to watch this tonight. Arnold Schwarzenegger, his wife gets killed, right? They murder her bad, kidnap her, murder her. You don't even see the movie. It's called,
my dad had me watch it years ago.
It's called Sabotage, right? They did his wife bad. So they don't know that he's on a revenge tour.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about he's killing everybody. And the people that's trying to, capture him, right? They not understanding, who is doing all these heinous crimes? But every night, before he goes to bed, they sent him a video of them killing his wife.
And he watched the video every night.
Watched the video every single day.
That was his driving force.
He had to reinforce the reason why he had to do what he had to do in terms of being ruthless. I make sure that I reinforce. I go look at, images of black women with one breast because German shepherds were sick on them, and those black women had their breasts bit off. I go look at pictures of pregnant black women in pots, and they put black women. Could you fucking imagine that? Could you? I mean, you're a woman. Yeah, sis.
She don't know what's going on. She's out to lunch.
Right? No, what I'm saying is, could you? No, she could hear it. She can hear what I'm saying. And my voice carries. Could you? Could you imagine? Could you imagine a pregnant woman being in a pot of boiling water, boiled to her death? Could you fucking imagine that? You can see the fuck you talking about. 9 months. Like 5 months pregnant, big belly showing, and she's been boiled so much that the belly bursts, and then the baby's head is hanging out her stomach, and the baby dies too. Could you imagine? Could you imagine that shit?
Yeah, that's.
Could you? I gotta watch that. Could you imagine a brother being hung from a tree with his penis shoved in his mouth, and little white boys are like fighting to get next to be in the picture to photobomb that shit? Mm-hmm. Right? You're not gonna let me forget.
Yeah.
So it's deeper than that. So that's what drives me. I'm not desensitized. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I'm not looking for any form of escapism. God has chose me to be a warrior. It's time for me to fight. It's time for me to be a man. And that's what being a black man is about. Being a protector, provider, maintainer, sustainer. So when we understand how a man is going to be and what a man is supposed to do, then it's just your natural position as a man. That's primary. That's the primary focus. Secondly, do you know how fucking lucrative this shit is? You just spoke about it. You fucking 200. Listen, man, every 6 months, you talking about $240 billion fucking dollars every 6 months? We don't even know the real fucking number. They lowballing that. You just said it, yo, the trillion. Say it again, man. Say it fucking again. The black people to protect your trillion. The fuck? I'm not gonna be sitting. Listen, man.
1.9 trillion.
So we ain't gonna sit here. I ain't leave you out, man. We ain't gonna sit here.
I mean, you know, light-skinned people ain't from the culture, but hold him down. Like.
No. I'm just saying. You're dead to me. You got a lottery ticket. You got a lottery ticket in your pocket that is.
Damn, he know you, Dan.
Actually, I got 14 lottery tickets. Pennsylvania lottery.
You know what I'm saying?
That nigga ran you like a fuck, nigga.
Right. So you got the you got the winning lottery ticket in your pocket, and you just letting it sit there. You're not gonna cash out. You know, you got the winning lottery ticket in your pocket, right? But a piece of the ticket kind of got ripped off because it was in your jeans and you did laundry and you forgot it was there because you bought so many lottery tickets, Dan.
That's some damn shit.
But you knew that you won. Right?
Right.
And all you have to do is find that missing piece to that ticket, put it together, and then go cash out. No. I'm not resting on my laurels.
Yeah.
Right?
You gonna leave no stone unturned.
Tear this motherfucking house up.
I gotta go get it. And then I gotta protect myself from laziness. And I gotta insulate and isolate myself from things that activate that form of laziness that stops me from looking for that lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Do you know how profitable we are when we own what we fucking create? No, look, I made my first $1 million off of selling CDs, man. You know what the most I got for one CD? Watch this, hold on, man. This is real, bro. Whoa. See, I like doing stuff like this. This is important, man.
What Herm say, success has receipts. My man Herm Doce always say, success has receipts.
Yeah, man, and it's like, shit, phone ringing. Yeah, so my shit went from 5G to light.
Yeah, we in a bad reception.
Yeah, you got my manager number. Call my manager. You might go through.
7. Please leave your message for.
Going straight to voicemail.
Please leave your.
The manager's out to lunch.
He's off the reservation right now.
No, yeah, hold on. He's at the lunch right now. Hold on, man. What the fuck, G?
Please leave your message
damn.
for 91794.
The fuck? So look, anyway, so the most money I made of one CD was $500, right? A lady gave me $500 for one CD. It's crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, and hold on, it's my manager. Hold on. Yo, G.
Yo, you hear me?
Yo, what's the most money you ever made off in one day of selling CDs?
The most I ever made one day, probably like $2,700.
What's the most I got off of one CD?
About $500, close to $500.
You on the mic right now. Just pause. Explain how much. Explain that situation and how it happened.
All right, we was in the paint. Everybody was vibing, and a lady had came through, and you and the lady started talking, and you were talking to the lady about maybe 10, 15 minutes about everything, about life, about money, about music, about everything. And she went in her pocket and just pulled out damn near $500 and gave it to you.
I can't let you cap that. That's not how the story went. I'm calling you back. It sounded like that, but I ain't let you cap. I got you.
I'm working, bro.
You call somebody to corroborate your story and they just tell some whole different shit.
No, listen, I get it. No, but you know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna tell a story. But no, I mean, I get it because you know, he remembers it, but he doesn't actually remember it, and I don't want to co-sign I want to get descriptive. It's important.
Right.
So when he's saying in the paint, we're in the city, we're in Midtown, we're going everywhere selling the CDs, right? And it was this lady. So it's a group of CD guys. Everybody's trying to sell a mixtape. And it was this lady.
Real quick, I love that as a in the paint. That's cool.
Yeah,
we should start using that.
Right.
Well, yeah, I'm in the paint.
right. So everybody, this lady, she's not dressed like, she looks like almost like she could be homeless, right?
Yeah.
So nobody's trying to sell her a CD. Everybody's ignoring her. So I walked up to her and I said, hey, how you doing? I do music, and we just had a conversation, right? And we was talking for about maybe 20 minutes, right? And we were just talking, right? And she just looked like she needed someone to talk to. And she said, I've been sitting here, nobody said nothing to me, and you're the only person that said something to me. I had this blessing I wanted to bless somebody with. She said, thank you.
Yeah.
And she gave me a 5. And you know what I mean? You know, when you just touch your money.
You can feel it.
I said, I'm out. I ain't even counting.
Yeah.
I said, gee, I'm going to see you tomorrow. I'm out. I'm going home. That's it,
Yeah.
right?
I made my quota for the day.
I'm for the day, right? And at the time, I didn't even have a car. So I get on the train. I get out the train. And then I go in the, bathroom at McDonald's. We get off the train because people be pocket watching. I go lock the store.
Yeah.
I pull the money and I count it. It's $500.
Right.
I said, all right. But I knew that was God's way of rewarding me for being independent. And people say, yeah, you made $1 million of mixtapes. Yeah, it took me about 6 years, right? And what I did was I realized that this was about like shifts.
Yeah.
So when I first started selling my mixtape, and we still sell mixtapes to this day, right?
Right.
My manager right now is selling mixtapes right now. Like right now. Mm-hmm. Right now. That's what he's talking about. I'm working.
Working, yeah.
That's what he's doing, right? Shout out to Dev Jeter. I found out that it wasn't about the product. It was about your energy that you put into whatever you're doing, and then that energy becomes magnetic, and then you attract the people that will support you based upon you, right? And when it came to sales, that's how I mastered sales. I got really organized. All right, I said, okay, I'm going to sleep 3 hours. If I sleep 3 hours, I got 21 hours of hustle. Then I broke down my being in the paint into shifts, right? And then I had to say, okay, I know what I want for the CD.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get that if I don't feel a certain way. That's where my mantra came from. The early stages of it, before I even created the mantra, I was applying it to my life. How you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. Mm-hmm. So when I went out to go hustle and go sell my CDs, I went out to the paint. I'm wearing nice clothes. I'm putting the cologne on. I'm bathing in the cologne. I'm making sure, I'm making sure I'm happy as fuck, right? And then people was just so, and then I didn't just shove my mixtape in your face. Yeah. I had the CDs in my back pocket.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing, man? Where you from? I like that. White Sox fan? I don't know if I fuck with you. I fuck with the Yankees, and then I have a conversation with you.
Yeah, you led with you as opposed to the product.
Right. And then people just were sold on me that they bought anything I was selling because they were sold on me. And then I had to put a number that made sense for me on me. I started off with getting maybe $1 for the CD. No. We do 20s, 50, and 100. And that was the number I set, right?
Yeah.
And then I went 2 months without making no money. I didn't sell no CDs because nobody wanted to give me 10, 20, 50, or 100, right?
Yeah.
But I had to stick to my guns. And it wasn't the price point. It was the energy that I was putting out that would get me or lead to the actual price point.
Yeah.
You see? And then now when I'm out there, now this is alchemy. This is the law of attraction. This is how manifestation works. So now I'm out there. I'm feeling happy. I know I deserve it. Now I'm feeling. So now, why didn't I get the $20 for the CD? Well, because I knew I didn't put 100% into the raps that I wrote that's recorded on that goddamn CD. Right? So there was a subconscious lack of entitlement that I didn't have, that I needed to have in order for me to authentically feel justified in asking for the price that I was actually asking for.
Yeah.
You talk about integrity and work ethic, right? Mm-hmm. So now when I put my best raps, right? was confident. Man, this is the shit, man, right? And then when I lay with me, and then I switched the conversation to my product, there was a confidence that I had that was non-tangible, that the person felt, and then I was able to get what I needed to get. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm saying all that to say this. When we can teach our people that concept, we can't teach our people that concept if we don't own a building that they can go to be taught. And then when we own that building, we can teach our people that concept. And when we teach our people that concept, they can benefit from that mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got 2 questions, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
Sure.
What was your thoughts when you saw Chef G and Sleepy Hollow step on that stage with Trump the other day?
With Chef G and Sleepy Hollow had an album and products ready. Because that's my first thought was I was like, damn, okay.
This is a big ass commercial, and they not taking advantage of it.
What's crazy is when seeing how much jewelry Chef G had, I was like, I wonder if they were doing anything like around that appearance. Like,
No, I'm saying that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, it's like big ass commercial. At the end of the day, like,
no, I agree. Like, I wonder if they were selling something.
Yeah.
Like,
shit, right? Like, that's the first thought I saw. I was like, damn, okay, this is a major opportunity. Like, we know that they're not going to say the things that I would have said if I was
right.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't getting invited.
Yeah.
You ain't even got to worry about that. But
thanks a lot, smart. Mic off. Yeah.
Yo, G, what's up?
Yo, you just called? You just text me?
Yo, I'm gonna hit you back, man. Don't worry about it, brother. Salam alaikum.
Huh?
Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yeah,
G in the Matrix right now.
Yeah. It must be going down in the face.
Yeah.
Like,
I just hope that those brothers were clever enough to capitalize fully off of that.
Yeah.
That financial opportunity, that infomercial that was presented to them.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, and that was right. Hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
It seemed odd, but in a year like 2024, it actually made perfect fucking
total
sense.
sense.
It made perfect sense. Like it was almost watching it was like a Orwell book mixed with a Boondock skit mixed with just Trump just hanging out in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But people forget Trump has always done that though.
Yeah, for sure.
Trump has always been immersed in our culture.
Yeah.
You got to think he's a real estate guy, right? So he understands how to create
spectacle.
Yeah,
He's
right.
a genius at it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and again, you can't expect people. It's not white people's job to advance us, right?
That's real.
It's our job, right? But we have to understand that we know that white people are making the advancement of our people a challenge only because subconsciously there's an implanted expectation that they have the power to empower us, and they don't.
Right.
Okay? This is why we got free. And for every slave that fought, they fought and got free.
Yeah.
Because the white man doesn't have the power to enslave you or keep you enslaved, right? So what we have to understand is, again, like I said earlier, just to paraphrase this whole
powerful episode, by the way.
This
We
whole
appreciate
episode,
you for being with
it's
us,
like,
man.
You got to have the mindset, right? We got to have the mindset. We have to understand the advertisement business and how to leverage that advertisement business for maximum profitability. We have to create some type of accountability groups for our black thought leaders and educate them that we are in the business of saving and waking our people up through consciousness, and we're not making consciousness a business to monetize hope without any actual action or deadline behind it.
Yes.
We talked about the difference between mobilizing and organizing, and that we have to be more focused on organization and not mobilization. And part of being organized is institution ownership and development. We talked about, P. Diddy and how media is used to misdirect and guide our people, right? We also talked about the importance of producing our own foods, because there's chemicals in our food that content activates and creates reactions that lead to our self-destruction, right? And you know, what else was the other big thing we touched on? We also touched on stop being fearful in terms of being independent and going against the grain, because they have mass marketed martyrism, right? Like, oh, you go against the white man, somebody's going to kill you. You tell the truth, you're going to die.
That's real.
Right? So there's no
fear mongering.
Right. There's no more punishment for independence. It's only opportunities for profit, right? So you know, those are the, you know, some of the main points that we touched on.
I got one last question, a music industry question. It's a lot of very nuanced stuff happening in the music business right now. You got shifting. A lot of these companies are shifting resources away from Black American music, from rap, from R&B, stuff like that. Laying off 20, 30, 50% of their employees. Universal Music Group, Sony, Warner, selling off assets. Warner sold off Up Rocks, they sold off Hip Hop DX, like all of this stuff to basically like streamline their company. Why do you think this is happening, number one? And then number two, what do the urban acts need to do to make sure that those resources come back? Or do they need to just focus on independence?
Well, in terms of the record labels, that's just good business, right? Like making your company more lean.
Yeah.
Right? Like technology allows you to downsize staff, right? So it's just a natural transition for in terms of technology for companies to become more, more lean, right?
Oh, organization.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And
that's a technical term they use for this shit.
And consolidation too, right? So it just makes more sense for the companies to be more lean, right? In terms of, you know, artists and artistry, they have to understand direct to consumer, right? They have to understand, you know, the current direct to consumer business models, and also get innovative and create new direct to consumer business models, meaning your network is your net worth.
Absolutely.
If you can convert that network into a financial transaction, and music is just a commercial, not the product. The music is the commercial for the products you sell or services you provide. So McDonald's, they have music, right? I'm loving it, ba 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 ba. But they have a product, burgers and fries. They provide a service. What service does McDonald's provide? Commercial real estate, because they offer franchise opportunities, right? So artists need to understand that music is not the product. It's just a commercial for the product. So meaning artists need to understand how to create products, how to create products lists. Yeah. So if he was an artist, I notice he has a beard. So he creates a beard oil, right? He creates a company like a Carol's Daughter, like a Shea for Moisture. And then now he's using his music to promote only his beard oil. And then because he becomes popular, his fans are going to look at his lifestyle. And then what is in his lifestyle, maintaining that beautiful beard that he has. Yeah. You have a cap, right? You have a baseball cap on, right? So, we have to think about product lists, product creation, right? And then create revenue calendars and set financial goals for the products that artists creates. And then figuring out how to partner up with companies and people who develop products and develop, services. Yeah. And then the next point is understanding computer science and then building our own streaming services. Because if artists don't understand how to build streaming services, they're, and then have hardware associated with those streaming services. So if Chef G builds Pineapple, right, and then Pineapple, is a streaming service, and then Pineapple has earlobe implants, right? Removable earlobe implants. Look at the fancy word for headphones. Removable
they've gotten real technical with the fucking headphones. Right? Like, we're not even calling them headphones anymore.
Right, so you got eardrum implants, right? That Chef G just made nanotechnology that wraps around your eardrum and gives a more internal,
and it comes with his whole music catalog already on there, or whatever.
Gives a more internal gives a more internal, music, audio experience with their fan base. And then now Pineapple is the next big thing. So this is where artists needs to start looking at in terms of direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then be mindful, Dan the Man, this is so much beautiful information as well as the first interview. Don't be afraid to watch the interview and then compartmentalize it into like 3-minute videos, and then you can distribute that too, because all this information is not only valuable, but also
so we obliterated TikTok last go round with the views. Like it was like, you know what I mean, we was cutting that shit down to morsels, man. Yeah. Smart, we appreciate you, man.
Likewise,
you are a
the coffee was actually good.
Was worked? All right.
Yeah, for sure.
You're a gem, you're a public service, man.
So what is it called? I think she was telling me it was Philly Brew.
The coffee.
Yeah. Philly Brew? No. Yeah, thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. He just told you what it's called. It's called Philly Brew. It's called Philly Brew.
It doesn't matter. Who cares?
No.
We got to have our own line of coffee, so next time you come back,
edit that out. But you just said, but keep it on Philly Brew. So this is the point I'm saying, right? Like, because now people are gonna want to know
what is Philly Brew,
right? So now you just gotta see how much opportunities we have for creation in terms of what we do. Mm-hmm. And then now the next step is to have a team in place that can make that Philly Brew
a reality.
And all that means is, and you could edit this part out, Dan the Man, right? But all that means is you take a regular coffee company, the coffee that they sell in the corner store because it's cheap as fuck and they sell it for a cheap price, and you just put a fucking sticker on that, the same way Phil Knight put a fucking swoosh check on a
Saku Tiger,
on a 25-cent shoe, and sold it back in America for $250. Right? So that's just the mindset, and understanding that whatever we put our stamp on, our voice is the Midas touch.
Yes, indeed.
Meaning we make anything that we touch gold. It's just that when we don't own what we touch, we have the perception that it will be turned to gold, and when we own what we touch, we're conditioned to feel like what we touch is going to turn to shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Smart. My man. We appreciate you, man. Can't wait to have you back for part 3.
Yeah, I think we need to do like a business kind of like black business association conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a public brainstorming where, you know what I mean?
In Philly.
Yeah, where people can kind of like ask. Well, we need to invest in publications.
Yeah.
Make it fly and have people really ask questions, because it's a lot that I can bring to the table in terms of just like business strategies, execution, and how to really get to that bag.
Yeah, definitely.
Without just lying about getting to the bag.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we need to do a live pod together in New York, the whole 9. Like, we need to really,
sure.
really integrate this thing, together and keep expanding and keep the opportunities, flowing. Give anybody that don't know who you are, they're a fool, but give them your social media, how they can get in contact with you, all of that.
They know who I am, man. Listen, my number is 917-907-3687. 917-907-3687. And, listen, man, fortunately for me, they know who I am. So, hey, holla at your boy.
We out.
Peace.